So what does this mean for the power matrix? In fact, more specifically, the security grid of India. What will the new National Security Advisor do, and does India even need an NSA? Let's start with a very special guest this evening, former National Security Advisor as well as Principal Secretary to the PM, Brajesh Mishra. Mr. Mishra, you were seen as one of those larger-than-life men who sort of had your fingers in many pies. But looking back, many believe that ironically you were actually opposed to the whole concept of the post of the National Security Advisor, even though you served as one.
Well, I don't know where you got that, but that is true.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that is wrong, so at least I have my information right. Why? Why were you opposed to it?
You see, we have a parliamentary system of government. There are only 3 countries in the world where you have National Security Council and National Security Advisor: US, Russia, India.
Yeah.
Now, in US and Russia, the president is the supreme, whatever you call him.
Power, yeah.
In a parliamentary system, of course the Prime Minister is supreme, but it's the cabinet system which works here. Now, you have an NSA who has immense powers, but he has no responsibility to the parliament. Now, that can't be done in a democracy, in a parliamentary democracy.
But many people would say that's exactly who you were, an NSA with immense power and no accountability to Parliament.
I was not in favor of the system at all. But for political reasons, it was decided to go ahead and do it. Now, in the UK, the Prime Minister has a diplomatic advisor. In France, although constitutionally, the President is the supreme authority on defense and foreign affairs, he doesn't have a national security advisor. He has a diplomatic advisor. So, what I want to say is, either we don't have the National Security Council system, or if we want to have it, then we should have a minister in charge of national security, who is responsible to Parliament.
Well, ironically, that's what Chidambaram is proposing.
And, just 1 second.
Yeah.
The National Security Council already exists in the form of the Cabinet Committee on Security. If you have a minister in charge of national security, he will be coordinating with the Defense Ministry, with the External Affairs Ministry. Obviously, he will also be in charge of the IB, because that is what IB has always been under the charge of the Home Minister.
Yes.
But he will be reporting to the Cabinet Committee on Security.
And will have that accountability to Parliament.
And to Parliament. So in my view, we don't need the system at all. We should, if the Prime Minister needs somebody, he needs a diplomatic advisor.
But if in effect, Veer, are we actually seeing the next NSA becoming a diplomatic advisor? Because
I think that's what's going to happen is exactly that. Mr. Chidambaram has taken away many of Mr. Narayanan's responsibilities. It is no secret that since Mr. Chidambaram became Home Minister, Mr. Narayanan was a shrunken figure. The NSA's power depends a lot on who the minister is. When Mr. Narayanan was NSA and Pranab Mukherjee was Minister for External Affairs, Narayanan had no role to play really in foreign policy. When Shivraj Patil was Home Minister, he had a large role to play in the way internal security was done. So it's not an exact science. It's largely a function of personality. Once Mr. Chidambaram has come in, Narayanan had much less to do than ever before.
Tuba.com